We are the Nerd Eternal Network.
Hello, and welcome to Icons Earthbound, here on the Nerd Eternal Network. I'll be your GM for the day, Jason, and with me as usual will be Curtis playing Landshark,
Hola.
Taylor playing Unison,
Howdy, howdy.
Mike playing Independence Ray,
Hello.
and Zach playing Recluse.
How y'all doing today?
Now, who remembers where we left off last session?
We were about to jump out of a plane.
What were you jumping out of a plane for?
Were we allowed to bring the child with us? I think we weren't.
No, you did not bring the child with you to Seattle. Which is where you met up with Wolf Witch. She was affected by the spell, but had noticed oddities. A door in her magic shop that nobody else could see.
Wait, wasn't that last episode?
Was that last?
Yeah,
last
we
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Last episode was us
we
gathering.
recruited the Crucible.
Yeah,
That's
the first-
right. Y'all, that was... Yeah, you're right. I was jumping back one session too far. That was y'all in Atlanta. Well, not Atlanta, Savannah. Because Wolf Witch knew where the Crucible's house was. Once y'all had restored her memory, she knew where the Crucible's house was.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we were headed back to base and we were going to plan our inevitable move on Memphis.
That is
That's right.
correct. You had gotten, from the Seattle mission, you'd gotten Wolf Witch and Mott. You'd picked up the Crucible and some other mystic, occultist kind of guy that works with him. That guy is not a superhero mystic. He's just, mystically inclined.
And they resealed the Crucible's Sanctum Santorium, whatever he calls it. I
Correct.
don't remember.
Y'all basically managed to undo the spell that the Feyre had put over top of his to stop them from being able to, open it and shut it. They walled her out, and she put her own little wall over top of theirs to keep them in. You met the delightful Mr. Redrum, who had
He was
basically
a nasty
zombie
piece of
soldiers.
work.
Oh yeah, Redrum's gonna be fun when he pops up in later seasons.
and knives that were not good for us, but good for him because he's a cheater.
They were bad for Landshark.
You
Very
say
bad from Head Shark.
you say he was a cheater, but if you're a knife fighter and the guy you ran into is invulnerable to knives, then you feel like they're the cheater.
No, but the knives should be all-purpose murder, not only murder in the hands of one person. That's what makes it cheating.
Equal
But-
opportunity is.
He didn't have magic
Yeah.
knives.
They weren't. That was the point. We found out they weren't magic knives. Because I tried to stab Landshark with them and they broke.
He's like, sorry, Bruce. I've been wanting to do this all season.
No, I think I checked it on myself first. I don't remember.
I think you did
It's
try to
been a
stab
month.
one of your copies.
Yeah. I think I asked if I could stab Bruce with it. Regardless.
So from there y'all headed back to the base in the Alps. When you arrive, you find MDM running around, not literally running around. But he's very busy at the communication center, getting in touch with everybody. As you walk in, everybody except Landshark probably recognizes the old man on the monitor that MDM is having an argument with. He is a villain named Hindsight.
Oh boy. It's this guy again.
I feel like we've met before.
Hey, yo, what up, Recluse? This dude's name's Oswald.
Oswald?
Yeah.
What is he, like 5,000 years old?
Good
Let's
name.
not be that rude to him. He, I know he was supervillaining back in the 70s.
Like when your father was.
Yeah. That's why I said let's not be rude.
I mean, your father was probably a
Fair,
little more
fair.
80s, but probably the very, very tail end of the 70s.
What are they arguing about?
Sounds like tactics. MDM wants to take most of everybody into Memphis itself. Where hindsight thinks they should have groups in other parts of the world stirring up trouble as a distraction. I mean, it sounds like a legitimately, useful debate.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what we do.
What does with his military background? What does Ray think would be the better approach?
All right, does Ray have tactics?
Have military.
Good enough. Go ahead and give me an
Military at
intelligence
2.
roll with that, and add your military to it.
Let me see. Do I have a roll for this? Oh yeah, there it is.
That does mean
But if everybody assaulted Memphis at once, wouldn't it be Shark and Awe?
Bruce?
Bruce can feel free to bring that up. MDM just sort of closes his eyes when Bruce suggests this. Where Oswald or Hindsight just his head tilts slightly, so you're pretty sure he's probably looking at wherever Bruce is on his screen. And then back at MDM. My God, man, you're completely scratching the bottom of the barrel, aren't you?
We'd be fish.
I will step forward at that. I ask you to hold your tongue. A bullet may not be intelligent, it can still kill.
I doubt that young man has ever killed someone on purpose.
We just got back from intergalactic warfare. I promise you, he's killed a lot of sentient beings. That's a horrible thing for me to have said. I am sorry, Landshark.
And he's like looking at his hand, trying to count, and he's like, but he doesn't even get to 1. He's just like,
Yes, clearly a hardened soldier.
Bruce, listen, that convoy you dropped into the chasm, I'm pretty sure it was just automated. Sometimes robots can scream, yes, so don't worry about it.
Anyway, post-traumatic stress disorder aside, as far as a strike force is concerned, he's good. Now, when it comes to creating a distraction, I feel like they have the greater mobility on a success than we do, don't they?
What do you mean by that?
They have a man who can walk through space faster than our jets can.
We have multiple spellcasters.
Oh, you mean Walkabout.
Yeah,
Her
they've
side's got Walkabout.
Yeah.
And Hindsight doesn't disagree with you on that. Yes, they do. That's why we have multiple people in various different parts of the world. That Australian fellow, he may be able to get people there quickly, but it's going to be spreading their people out. I'm not arguing that your father should not take a large force into Memphis. We could have 3-man sabotage crews, just going in, making a lot of noise somewhere. I mean, truthfully, your large friend there, he can wreck cities in a go. If we could get a long-range teleporter, just have him go around and earthquake a few different cities as a distraction. Minor earthquake.
Wow.
He sees the look on everybody and says, minor earthquakes. I'm not asking him to level New York. I mean, he already tried that, apparently.
He'll just be like,
But,
I'm pretty sure they're always saying, Rubes, do not use your earth powers in the city.
exactly. And the Pharaoh would say the same thing and send people to stop you, see. That's why you're such a good distraction.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm needed in Memphis.
Yeah. I mean, you could be useful there. After all, Memphis was a ruin before all of this, so it won't really matter if you level it again.
Yeah, except for historical preservation.
There's plenty of other historical things in Egypt. People have literally been protecting the historical sites in that place since the Romans.
Yeah, Ray probably honestly wouldn't object to that in the event.
Now, as far as Ray's role, both these plans have their merit. He would probably lean a little bit more towards the multidimensional man's plan.
Concentrated assault?
Mm-hmm. Because you should have the element of surprise.
Mm.
And if hindsight's ideal of a distraction is, just go cause earthquakes in major cities. That's probably not a tactic Ray's going to get behind.
Yeah, so I'll say that, basically Ray feels that a lightning, like a really quick strike would be, I mean, with the size of the group we'd be bringing into Memphis, there'd be plenty of we could present plenty of our own distractions just by approaching Memphis from multiple vectors, and it also leaves us with the ability to change things up and have everyone on present whenever if the circumstances require rather than separated. If they don't mind me interjecting, well, he'll interject regardless. But
Yeah. Nobody seems to object. I mean, S.P.E.A.R is known to be a very effective team, and you're the S.P.E.A.R leader, so yeah. Well, of the super team, anyway. So there's some more debating. Eventually, hindsight, sets his objections to the side. He'll still be there to assist, but obviously he's gonna take some measures to protect his own people. So once that call's over, MDM turns to you. He gets up, he greets Wolf Witch. He seems to know her. At least in passing, at least on a kind of professional level. Introduces himself to Mott. Talks to the Crucible like he knows the Crucible. Again, like they've worked together before, not that not that they were hanging out and having beers after the crime fighting or anything. So I take it you had a productive trip.
Is he looking at me or Ray?
Just kind of addressing the group.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like we finally have a fighting chance at undoing this damage to the planet with our trio of mystics.
He looks over at the 4 mystics you've got standing at the side.
4.
The non-costume ones trying not to look offended. And the Crucible speaks up. He's fairly confident that once they're on site that they can undo this. They're going to need to find whatever power source she used, because the scale of what she did, there's no way she could call upon that much power on her own. You know, either there's an artifact, some sort of massive sacrifice that went on, a god perhaps getting directly involved in giving her power, which shouldn't be a thing. She was shunned by the gods, so that shouldn't be an issue. But who knows how their politics may have changed in the past 5,000 to 6,000 years.
I hate to be the person to ask this question. I turn to Mott. Any chance with those things people keep thinking were ancient Egyptian batteries somehow magical things?
Mott thinks for a second. No.
Okay,
Sorry, I
cool.
had to consult with the other me, but no.
No, it's perfectly fine. I was just making sure that there wasn't some kind of magic battery in locations that we could, like, very clearly dictate.
He has heard of such things, sometimes called pools or wells. But they were, like, specifically magical objects that you would, not the ones you were speaking of. They'd be large or something that you could pool magic into, and it would kind of hold it. Off the top of his head, he can't imagine one that would have, none of the ones he's aware of would have held this much power or held it for this long. But the generations before him worked magical wonders in Egypt that, he couldn't have matched in his day.
Mm-hmm.
And as Mott's talking to you, the more he talks about the past, the more his speech patterns alter, and he starts sounding like it's the same voice, but suddenly he sounds like he's from somewhere else. It's like an accent you can't place that creeps in the more he talks about the past. Almost like you're slowly talking to a different person.
Interesting.
But then when he's kind of finished with the historical stuff, he sounds normal again. And he had mentioned to you, once you guys remember, he had mentioned to you the previous incarnation, that floats around, that's still floating around in his head. Land Shark, this may strike you as vaguely a familiar sensation watching this. You've probably been talking to Jay before when his grandmother would take her.
Right.
With her it tends to be a little more all at once. Where this was kind of a gradual in and then kind of back out. More of an influencing than taking over, maybe.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's magic. What does Land Shark know? It just feels familiar to him.
He knows to mostly stay away from it.
Unless they're symbol monkeys. Cursed symbol monkeys.
Oh, yeah. He's actually quite grateful for the symbol monkey, actually. Because, being his post-traumatic stress self, if he's having nightmares or something, the symbol monkey's always there, so he knows it's a dream. So he thinks the symbol monkey's his friend.
Like Inception.
Never have seen that movie. And as y'all are talking, Aurora flies in. Oh, you're back. Was there a fight? She crosses her arms. Could you have used my help? It kind of cuts her eyes over at Dr. Brain.
There was a fight. It was one dude who was and zombies.
Ooh. John showed me a movie. There wasn't any color. It was. He said it was an old movie. I don't know why there wasn't color in old stuff, but
We hadn't invented it yet.
you had to
Yeah,
invent
we had
color
they
on
just
your
couldn't-
planet.
The filmmaker just couldn't afford it.
They're coming to get you.
Yeah, that's the one.
Classic.
Oh, I would love to have fought zombies. I mean, it's not like they could really bite me.
Of course, they got to you. If they were letting off like a corpse dust or something, make you feel sick. Not sure if it'd affect you, but still, I'd have paid for you to feel icky out in the field.
She's like, I'd been fine. I've never been sick before.
It's not a fun experience.
It ain't.
Well, I mean, I've overeaten before, so maybe that's the same thing. And
So,
John and Molly are there too.
So, what exactly is going to be our formation going in?
Well,
'Cause-
MDM tells you he doesn't have, he doesn't have every element plotted out. He was waiting on y'all to get back because, he kind of looks over at Ray. I wasn't, going to make any decisions on your behalf without your input.
Yeah. So right now, how many Majestics do we have on our side? I just want to.
You currently have 3 Majestics that MDM has met. They talk like there's a couple of more, including a rather large one. Oh no, take that back. The large one is currently damaged. And the professor they work for, that they mentioned they work for, he was in the process of repairing it when the spell took effect, and of course the professor doesn't remember anything about it. Now he's got the altered memories. So 3 Majestics. I'd have to dig to find their numbers.
We have Modison and Hell's Daughter, John Modison.
Let me see. I think we made a list on that.
And
Is it 5, 7, and 12?
That may very well be it. That does sound about right.
It's the only Majestics I know of.
No, 12 was the lady that ran off at the end of the previous season. I want to say in that last session, last time y'all ran into him, I think Muscle damaged something on her suit. She reached into the collar of her suit and pulled a chunk out, and basically talked about basically she not being restrained, and he couldn't track her with that busted, and she just took off. So those other 2 numbers are there. What was the other 2 you rattled off?
5 and 7.
5 and 7. No, it was 7 that ran off. 12 was the dude, I think.
12 looks like a dude in a blue suit.
Yeah. Okay. So M12, M5. And then there's one that's in black and gold that MDM has met. I'm blanking on his number.
And just as a quick check for this large cavalcade of powers we have, who here has healing abilities? And I'll raise my hand.
yeah. Well, technically, any of the mystics do.
Yeah, Mott raises his hand because healing's a big part of what he does.
Cool. That's great. More than one medic is always good.
Wolf Witch and the Crucible both kind of half raise their hand.
Oh, okay.
It's not something they specialize in. It is
it's-
within their magical repertoire, though.
If we are multiple teams once on the ground, I am obviously able to separate my attention a couple of different ways to make sure we have plenty of healing.
Okay. Remind me, Taylor, does Patience have healing abilities?
Yes, but she's also not here.
Yeah, she's still under the influence of.
She's not magically inclined or mentally inclined.
That's right. Frost Giant and Serpent Boy got her back because John and Molly went off and helped them. They've got her back, but she's not fixed. That's right. Okay.
The Serpent Boy is available, and
yeah, Frost Giant, Serpent Boy, Multidimensional Man, John Modison, and Molly Hilldaughter. You got the 30
Dr.
Majestics. You've got Dr. Brain.
and what exactly are Dr. Brain's powers again?
Telepathy and telekinesis.
There's Foresight.
Yeah, you got Foresight, who's somewhat clairvoyant. As a superhero, he's really more of a Daredevil, Batman, Captain America, two-fisted adventurer type. With that little bit of foreknowledge and the occasional actual vision of the future.
Okay, so his Foresight isn't controllable. It just comes in flashes.
Anything long distance, like far into the future, it comes in flashes that he can't control. He's got kind of a constant field of it going, so it functions like a sixth sense or that sort of thing.
Is he here now? He should be. He probably should be on the planet something.
Yeah, he should be there. Geist should be there.
Oh yeah, Geist. What does Geist do again?
He can duplicate.
He's almost a me.
Okay.
Hang on just a second. I'll give you a slightly more. Once I remember which team he was on in the school. There we go. So he can make mental attacks. He's got a real kind of low level telekinesis. He can manipulate people's emotions, and he can phase and duplicate.
Emotional manipulation, that could be useful.
Honestly, Geist is going to be useful against Muscle. If we, as one of the ways we can hurt him that aren't going fist to fist.
You've got Hindsight. Hindsight has other people working with him, but you don't know anything about what they do. He's just sort of been running his own cell, but cooperating with the rest of the Resistance. Don't forget, though, you've also made the acquaintance, or you've also talked to Farron Steele. Farron? Yeah, Farron Steele.
And a shape-shifting spy.
Right.
Who may or may not be
Could be
there.
anyone.
He could be absolutely anybody.
Could be anyone.
Could be anyone.
Could be. And we have the J robots. Is that right, or are they?
The J robots, y'all figure should be unaffected. Well, y'all would only really be aware of. Is it J301 or 30?
303.
303. Okay. None of you, I don't think, would be aware of J304.
Sure.
Yeah, because I think J304 has still stayed completely hidden and off the radar.
And we haven't actually
For the
made
time.
contact with 303, have we?
You have not.
Just
I didn't think so.
We're just assuming.
You know where his inventor is supposed to be living.
Yeah.
Outside Lafayette, I think it was.
But we shouldn't be planning.
Do we have his phone number? As Spear?
Yeah, he'd be in the. He should be in the Y'all's records.
Could we just call him and see if he wants to help?
But
Sure.
better hope that he is free of the charm. Otherwise,
I
he
mean,
just
I'm pretty sure we
break
could
the
just
line.
ask. If you got a phone call that lasted 3 minutes or less than a minute and just said, "Do you remember a time before this Pharaoh person existed?" And we get a yes or a no, we can just kind of go off that.
You know, if the only resistance is like mythic or mental, I mean, I would imagine if anything, as a I feel like a robot would be at least as vulnerable, if not more so, to the transformation effect. Hope I don't
Well,
know
the
if
spell
that.
didn't really seem to affect anything like electronic or
It
digital.
didn't affect the AIs in space, but it affected the people in space.
Oh, okay. So if anything, maybe it's the other way around.
Because our space station AI still operated, but was not affected by the spell.
Yeah. And speaking of which, we should remember that we still have a full support staff on the satellite.
Yep. Orbital bombardment. Except your ship is
I
really equipped with bombs.
mean,
All right. Well, we've got 2 ships up there. If we just move one of them at 90% of light speed and
Hey.
crash it into Memphis.
No, hold on. Time out. It's a pirate ship. I'm sure it has some weapons that could work.
But the international community didn't want weapons in space, so you have to disarm that sort of thing.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
You know, it's got its blasters, but as far as like planet bombs that could drop on a planet, well, those may have had to come out.
Well, just crash the ship in the middle of Memphis. I'm sure it'll get whatever magical Dumawachi's.
We really gotta stop
Holding the
talking
spell
about
in
plans
place.
that kill hundreds of people at a time. Like, we're not in that place anymore, guys. We've got to stop.
I was not being sincere.
It's hard to tell in this year. Now, anyway, do we want to call the robot man or not?
yeah, let's give the robot man a call.
Or the man who owns the robot man? I'm not really sure how the stance works on that, but we will call J303's phone number.
All right.
That really sounds like a 70s song, The Man Who Owns the Robot Man.
Yeah.
All right. So MDM, pulls up the records, and y'all might have to, I don't know, you might have to converse with your ship or something to get the. Well, no, actually, because a lot of the satellite network is still functioning. So y'all could probably remotely tap into that level of, of files. Wouldn't have a ton of security on it, comparatively speaking. So yeah, y'all come up with the number, no problem. MDM gives it a call. Taylor, I will let you play J303.
Oh, okay.
So phone starts ringing.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello, I'm trying to reach a J303.
I am designated to answer the phone, so you have me.
Do you remember a time before the Pharaoh took charge?
Is this a prank call or a real call?
It's a real call. Just wondering what you remember.
I'm a robot, and therefore my memory may be faulty. Hey, this lady's only been here like less than 6 months.
Okay, good. That's the way we remember it
is.
too.
Okay, cool, because like this has been fucking weird.
Language.
I'm a robot, not a man. Your language rules mean nothing to me. Also, blame my programming, which was not done by me.
I'm going to put you on speaker. We've not met.
Oh.
I'm the multidimensional man. I'm here with several members of S.P.E.A.R.
Oh, that's good. They got back from space?
They did. Space has not been affected, apparently.
I assumed there was going to be a range to this. That's good to hear that it. Does that mean our space stations are safe?
The
It's
people on
not
board
my.
were affected, but not the stations themselves.
Ah, probably means most of the AIs running around are safe. That's nice to know. I have a friend in Japan. Haven't gotten to speak to her lately. What do you need?
We're gathering assistance for an assault on Memphis. We got some mystics that think they can undo what was done.
Oh, that's wonderful. Um, how many disposable robot bodies do you need?
All of them.
I'd prefer an answer with a lower number than that.
All but one of them? As many as you think you can spare, and that we figure out we can get over here.
All right, they're not going to be as good as this main body, which I will also come as the main body, but I've got a few uh how do I say them? Not replacements because they're worse than me because I'm amazing. Um not duplicates, spares. Spares, there's the word, spares. Sorry.
Okay.
I've got and a couple of less than perfect spares to use. Um I don't exactly have a plane. My owner is
We can
not
get
exactly someone who likes to travel.
we can get you here.
Understood. You have my phone number, so I assume you have the address.
We do,
Do we
yes.
have the address?
Yeah. Spear would have all that.
Oh, right.
J303 is a known quantity.
Also, J303. You mentioned presence of AIs, include particularly one in Japan. Would any of them be able to support our action as well?
I haven't been able to be in contact with her because when not in certain processes, she's kept on a bit of a leash, and that leash hasn't been let off, most likely due to everyone in Japan forgetting that she exists.
Oh. Okay.
My owner, however, being the person that made me, still remembers having made me, so I've been a little more carte blanche with my actions. I feel like I may have used that word incorrectly. Oh well.
Is there? And I would remember Hatsune, right? Yeah, because I've met her.
Was it this?
I'm
Yeah, it
not
was
sure.
the spirit. It was the spirit hand that went over there and met the
Yeah,
Cyber Force. I forget their full name.
Is would any of us have the capability to? Do we have any hackers who could maybe unlock her, as it were?
Well, if you're asking for her assistance, I hate to tell you this.
Okay.
She's an AI. She's not a robot. Those are two very different things, sir. One is
Oh, I know
physical and
she
one
won't.
is not.
Right. Yeah, I know she wouldn't be able to provide any physical support, but
And I
perhaps
hate
she
to
could
tell you,
launch
I
a.
don't exactly think the Pharaoh is technologically competent.
Well, that's fair. I mean, she hasn't exhibited a use of any kind of like really high tech stuff like drones or anything like that. That's a fair
I
point.
almost
And
can't make money for my owner because no one's using phones properly right now. Anyway, if you come pick me up in a couple of spares, yes, I can assist you.
that's fantastic.
I will
We can do
just
it.
politely put my owner to bed, and then we will let you sneak off with a bunch of my bodies. Because I haven't been told not to.
And it's for your owner's own. And MDM speaks of, and it's for your owner's own good.
That's right.
Yes, I would. My job is to keep the physical and mental health of my owner, and being mind controlled, definitely on the list of things of bad mental health. How many days do I have to prepare?
Can you be
Or is
ready
this
in 2?
hours?
We can probably hold off for 2. Because
Well,
we have other people to move around and get into position.
Oh, this is like an action now kind of thing. I see. You could take my spares and plop me in an airfield. If there's an airfield in the city next to Memphis. And I can be prepared to drop a couple of planes on her. That was meant to be a joke, because last time I helped out with S.P.E.A.R, I dropped a plane on a guy. Sorry.
Oh.
Did it work?
Pretty well.
Who was it you dropped a plane on?
Wasn't it the guy who had the nullification powers?
Okay, was that something you did to the Vasilev? Okay.
Oh no. The guy that was human who had cancellation powers.
Yeah.
Who I can't remember the name of. Because he beat the crap out of Jay and Everlast and...
Oh, I'm trying to remember.
It was during season 2, but I can't quite remember the dude.
There were a lot of seasons in season 2, or a lot of episodes in season 2.
There was a lot of seasons in season 2.
There was a lot of season in that season. Yeah, it was a double.
He
season.
had a stick
It's
or
pricey
something.
season.
Yeah, he was like pretending to be the Grim Reaper or some nonsense.
Oh yeah, from he was part of that organization that was trying to empower humans like the gods or some such. Take the power of the gods. Yeah. I know you're talking about.
He was that guy.
He dressed kind of Grim Reaper, but I think did he have an axe? I forget what his weapon choice was, but yeah, I know you're talking about now.
Regardless, hit him with a plane. Great time for all. I'll make sure not to use our plane.
And yes, there is an airfield. There's actually one just outside of Cairo. I mean, it very quickly put together, but it's a deserty area. There wasn't a whole lot they had to clear off. Yeah, they just have a level patch of dirt, basically.
Let's put plane attack as a plan C if things go kind of sour.
Memphis, is that still a desert, or has Madame Pharaoh's magic revitalized the area?
In the city itself, there's a lot of plants.
Sure
There's a lot of plants. There's like water. They've got canals and stuff running through, watering things.
But outside the city,
Outside the city, no, it's still pretty deserty.
Well, this has been a great conversation. I can have enough ready within a few hours.
Okay. Like I said, it may be a day or two. We will get back to you with the specifics. I need to call somebody who's close enough to your area. He'd probably be the one to swing by and pick you up. I just have to make sure he can get his hands on some planes.
And don't worry too much about weight. Most of us weigh less than car. Well, most of us weigh roughly the weight of a motorcycle, so transportation shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Okay. And about how many of you are there going to be?
I can have maybe 5 spares and me. The spares are going to be mediocre in combat potential.
Okay. It's more bodies, though. Alright, anyway, we will be in touch.
Understood. This
Sweet.
is great. The best news.
Come to think of it, wouldn't Jay and Santa Luna were on the same team. They were both misfits.
Yes. And I think Wolfwitch was too, wasn't she? No, Wolfwitch.
No, she was part of the Haunted.
Haunted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the alien.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Zach's alien and Slapshot, I think, were part of the misfits. Or no, Slapshot was with the Haunted too, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Slapshot was haunted.
That's right. Jay was your character with the misfits.
Should J303 contact his alien friend? I forgot about that completely.
Might not hurt. Is Starbound affected? I know he has some mental powers.
He's also not human.
Yeah.
No. This affected non-humans, didn't it?
I
I'm trying to
don't
think
know.
of what non-humans you've run into since you got home.
Yeah, I don't know that we've met
I thought
non-humans.
the red
on
guy
Earth
was
since we
not-
came back.
I thought the red guy
Yeah,
was
he was a
non-human for
space
some
alien.
reason.
Yeah. Yeah, the Omega Red or
No.
not
That's
Omega
not his
Red. That is
name.
copyrighted. Yeah. Titan Red. Yeah,
Red,
he's
yeah.
That's right. He was an alien and he was affected. So being an alien doesn't give him any protection. However, being naturally psychic probably would. He'd probably be on par with the human psychics. So yeah, Jay could probably give him a call.
Considering the time that has passed, Jay has probably already been in contact with Starbound to check up on him because the world is crazy. And he knows Starbound isn't human, so he probably would have been the first check to see if
So basically, when they
aliens are
show up to
safe.
pick up Jay and his copies, Starbound should be there. Oh, I know who I want to bring in too.
Everlast would be missing.
Everlast, should probably not be affected at being divinely powered, but she's missing. She's specifically not been sighted.
I'm trying to remember who was the other member of the Misfits. Was it Landshark?
No, it was
Everlast.
J and J.
Comment. Was the comment?
Was it
Oh yeah,
Everlast?
it was JJ, Everlast, and Starbound. Okay, yeah.
Was Everlast the miss? Yeah, Everlast was. No, Everlast was with the Haunted.
Everlast was haunted.
Oh, okay. I'm confusing my teams.
Yeah, I think
was it
Comet
with
was
that?
on the haunted, and Jay, my Jay, and Comet really should have swapped
Was I playing
places because Jay should have been on the haunted, since he is haunted.
Man,
Maybe it was
wish
with
we
it. I
had-
don't remember.
I wish we had like a thing where we had written it down.
Clearly, we need a gamer's handbook
Yeah,
to the NEU.
that's right.
Was Santa Luna was part of the Misfits.
Yeah.
And Landshark was a floating character.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted.
So Santa Luna's name was Jay, and J303's name is Jay. And then Zach was playing Starbound. Who was Mike's character in the Misfits?
Was I playing with the Misfits?
Maybe. I can't remember for
Serpent
sure.
part of the Misfits?
Who now?
It could have
Serpent
been. Let's see.
Boy?
There was
No,
the other
because
characters.
the group of Serpent Boy was Serpent Boy, Frost Giant, Patience.
And then Curtis was usually playing the Comet with that group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
But the original appearance of the Misfits, you had one other member. A young lady that could control the weather, I believe. Stormbringer.
Yes.
It was Anna's character. So that first story they were in, Miss Alyssa Stevens was there. And
Yeah, because she's the one that zapped, possessed Jay when he came out of the bathroom.
I hope I forgot I was a boy. Never forget that line. Anyway,
Oh,
but yes,
No,
and
I
she,
think it was a security guard that tased Santa Luna.
maybe she can do weather electrical stuff though. So, but she would also be unaffected for reasons.
Now, where should we pick up the J303s? I mean, then if we're talking about closest airfields, that would be either Memphis itself or Cairo. But I feel like
Well, MDM calls up Hindsight again. Lays on him, hey, we've got some backup here. They need to be picked up. As you make your way across. And they go over kind of the weight. They weigh about Vincent's motorcycle. Okay. And Hindsight is pretty sure that it won't be any problem for his craft. He doesn't refer to it as a plane specifically. Oh, they made a landfill? Oh, well, that doesn't really matter. It's vertical takeoff and landing, but okay. So you have gathered quite a few heroes. MDM is they're starting to coordinate when everybody can make it. Because you don't want to attack with half the group because the other half it's like another half day. Y'all are still in the room. He gets in touch with a cell in Australia. There's not a it's not a large group. When he calls, the platypus answers the phone.
Ooh.
Oh,
Well,
not
the video
him.
call. Does Land Shark actually say that when he sees him?
Under his breath.
Better be careful. Platypus naturally have very good hearing.
Isn't it platypi?
Actually, it's platypuses.
Oh, crazy. I'm
Yeah.
terribly sorry.
Platypi is people
Ignorant.
trying to do false Latin or whatever. Fear not. The platypus will not take offense. After all, he's singular. And single.
I'm sure you'll find someone someday. Unless you also have a lover who has been taken from you by this dastardly pharaoh.
Join the club.
No, he hasn't had anything. He doesn't do anything serious. His
But a whole lot of casual, am I right? Just do finger guns at him.
well, everybody loves the platypus, so.
Let's just say if we ever wanted to do Children of the Platypus story arc, just like Primus, we could do that. Then they, that team would be called the Platypuses.
How would we track his children down? Oh, by looking through old tabloids for any reports of a woman giving birth to an egg.
And all of the poison people, all the people that kick poison. Anyway, back to business.
Yes, back to business. So, when we get everyone together eventually, how many groups do we want to split up into? Do we want one for each healer? Perhaps we started talking about our
We
healing.
want to make 8 squads?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I was counting Unison as well. Well, then again, do we want to split up the Unisons is 8 would be too much, I feel.
You can just call us units.
Units. Oh, that's right. Units.
They're Unisci.
I take a brief moment. That was weird to say us. That should have just been. I'm sorry. I'm a little too much public persona right now. That was a strange moment.
Unison, you notice your mother is staring at you very hard through this entire exchange.
The 14.
Like a worried look on her face, like,
I'm used to saying us because I'm pretending to be a group of different heroes to the public. It happens. It was a slip.
Uh-huh. I'm sure it was. She doesn't look sure that it was.
Great. Anyway,
Great. Now Mom's convinced that my personality is splintering.
I've got enough headaches with all of my illegal brain surgery.
Would 3 groups be a good idea? One with Unison, one with Mott, and then one with our 2 with our remaining mystics who have limited.
And Hindsight's group.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, his cell 4. Yeah, I guess
I'm in favor of that, because that'd let every group be pretty beefy in terms of numbers.
And I can keep a copy in each group as backup and communication in case services go down.
So, if we're splitting up into groups, which is a good idea, that would mean that each group has a different target.
Or simply a different angle of attack.
Right. Magic and tactics are not my thing, but if Madame Feyre has a temple of some kind, that's probably where whatever magic Dumawachi we're looking for is.
Yeah, as a global dictator, she's bound to have the ego to be really particularly touchy about attacks on her notable monuments of tribute.
Well,
So we have a mystic team looking for the object while we commit to an assault.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that they're. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we don't want to pull Mott away from Crucible and Wolfwitch if the 3 of them are going to be focused on undoing the spell.
Mm-hmm. The 4 of them, his flunkies with him.
If we want Madame Feyre's attention when we get there,
poor guy,
I can get it. I can say hello.
Dr. Brain's like, what's your plan there, Bruce?
It depends on what the game master lets me do.
She continues. There's a lot of innocent people that have also been moved into Memphis.
First, have you ever seen that old movie with the mummy, Brandon Fraser?
Of course, yes.
I think I could, it's in the desert. I couldn't cause any damage, but I think I could make what looks like a nasty looking snowstorm.
I'm going to assume you mean sandstorm.
Oh, right.
Maybe with a shark face.
She's like, oh, okay. Sorry. I was immediately thinking earthquakes.
Well, then I could follow it up with a small earthquake if we wanted.
What do you suppose will happen, Bruce, if Santa Luna's grandmother comes out in defense of the Pharaoh? Emotionally, what do you think that would do to you?
If she comes looking for me, that's my problem. I can deal with her.
Can you deal with the emotions, though? You've already been emotionally shook up. You've also been emotionally shook up already by the imposter that you were opposed to.
We're good with emotions.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm never good with emotions, but she is family. Almost family.
Is she fond of you?
I'm fond.
Would she turn you to stone and or vaporize you with a magical spell?
I'm going to go with no.
Okay.
Would she...
Jay is her little Nino.
Would she stun you and then slap your behind?
Yes.
So murder, no. Sexual harassment, yes.
There's
No, it's
layers
just
to that
correction.
cake. There's so many non-tasty layers to that cake, Recluse. Let's not dive in.
Agree.
But you believe it would be a non-fatal confrontation should you fail.
Right. I don't think she would hurt me.
Dr. Brain looks you deep in the eyes when you say that. Like she's feeling your emotion to make sure that you're as convinced as you sound. But she seems satisfied with what she finds.
Shark
She
just
nods her
looks really, really defeated. And he says, look, do you think a guy like me ends up in a romantic relationship with anybody very easily? All I'm going to say is Adita had to step in to help Jay out.
Hopefully you're right.
This isn't D&D insight check?
Oh, that would be awareness.
'Cause it truly sounds preposterous to me. But I'm not going to bother too much looking into the shark life.
So yeah, you give me a awareness roll. Land Shark, give me a willpower roll. All right. All right. So Unison got a 10. Land Shark got an 8. Unison. Bruce believes what he's saying. There's a little bit of doubt there, but that's probably just it being a stressful situation. But you do believe he is legitimately pretty sure she won't hurt him, and pretty sure that whatever she's doing, it's probably to keep Jay safe. But there's a little bit of doubt because she does like to take over and run around on her own for a little bit. So
yeah, she's not always a nice person.
It's one of those she may be enjoying it a little too much.
But from spear work, I would recall that she hasn't run around just committing crimes willy-nilly while in his body.
No, not super
Like
villainy
disorderly
kind of
conduct, but not
disorderly
like
conduct.
bank
She might steal something. She was definitely planning to steal. Well, not that you would know that, but she was definitely planning to steal that.
She was after that mask.
Yeah, that mask artifact from the first time the Misfits popped up. But that was powerful magical mojo, so
The rules are different. All right. But all right. If we want to forego having Land Shark up front as a distraction tactic to potentially pull away Jay, that is something we can do. But that comes down to the decision by our esteemed leader. I will point to Ray.
MDM swivels in his chair to look at Ray. Dr. Brain turns and looks at Ray.
Being second in command is way cooler than I remember.
Foresight's
You're
power
talking
lets him know this is the appropriate moment, and he walks in and he looks at Ray.
It's like,
So wait, so you're talking about the like a Bruce contingency plan in case he has a breakdown of some kind?
No. Bruce
okay.
doing a grand entrance to pull the attention.
Oh, the sandstorm idea.
Yes, the sandstorm idea.
No, I thought that was a great idea. Yeah, that would be a good lead into to our vector entry. How fine of a control do you have over that ability? Could you say whip up a sandstorm and then clear an entryway for our teams to go? Is your control that refined?
I've got power level 8. I don't know what Jason would let me do. I was just assuming it would be purely cosmetic. I mean, sandstorms, you don't want to mess with that. But I was assuming Bruce could pull up enough sand that looked
It's more like a big
Like-
sand
like a-
cloud that Bruce will be moving.
Right. Not actually a dangerous sandstorm. Just looks like one, so it'd get people's attention.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, Bruce could make
So-
bubbles in that y'all could travel in, without getting sand and everything. Or have it
So
open
you could
up,
use that for, I guess, camouflage and cover. Could you use it to like gum up any security vehicles?
My first instinct would be to say I probably could not. It'd have to be like an individual attack on
On a vehicle.
a vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless
Okay,
unless he
well,
had power
certainly-
stunted for like an area attack sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you could say like create a
But,
quality.
in all fairness, if I power stunted for a multiple attack, we're not talking about just vehicles. We're talking about any people, buildings, and other stuff would get whammied
True.
by whatever he did.
Again with the the damage being an ongoing concern. Well, you could always just create a quality, sand cover, I guess.
Yeah, making the sand cloud is definitely something he can do.
Yeah. I
Other
think that's
stuff might require rolls or might require power stunning.
Okay. Well, we'll see like how much of Outset's defenses rely on kind of like mechanized deployment. But I think that's a good. That would be a good opening move. Now, I want to ask the Mystics exactly what they'll need to do on the ground. Like, are they going to need like? Will they even need to be on the premises? Will they need to have like an isolated area to focus on like whatever rituals they might cast? How would they envision that working?
What they're going to do when they arrive is they'll need to begin scouting around, trying to find the source of this power. They assume if she's setting them in Memphis, it's probably close by. But they'll need to find what they would prefer to find is whatever power source she's using and whatever location she initially cast the spell. If either one of those is in Memphis, they should be able to find it. Because the power source, even if it's mostly used up, there should still be a lot of residue there they should be able to sense. The casting of the spell should have left a mark wherever it was cast. So they should be able to find it.
Will they be able to be under it? What is the risk of detection while they are performing whatever spell they need to pinpoint this location?
They all sort of look at each other and kind of confer, and Wolfwitch is finally like 50-50. If she's distracted, maybe she won't notice. Now, when we begin casting the counter spell, probably every mystic in the country will pick up on that. Especially if we're able to tap into whatever power source she used to try to undo it. That will be very noticeable.
Do you want to have some of us like just be around you for defense?
Oh, certainly. The first place they're kind of thinking about looking. I mean, they'll keep their eyes peeled the moment they show up. In Egypt, but they're truthfully very interested in her palace complex. There are some. It looks like a combination of a palace or a temple, and with her living right on top of it, or her living there, they wondered if maybe she put her temple palace complex right on top of whatever it was.
So, a thought that occurs to me: what if we created a couple of distraction squads within Memphis, with our heroes who are more focused on mobility. You'd be able to like travel around and cause chaos throughout the city. And then the team that we leave with the Mystics would be like maybe our most powerful like um, people who provide the best defense while our Mystics do their thing. How do we feel about that as a plan?
I vote Team Indiscriminate Chaos. Indiscriminate chaos destruction. Yes.
I'm always for indiscriminate chaos.
Yeah, well, being the sandstorm person, yeah, that tracks Bruce. Like the Majestics, they would probably be good for indiscriminate chaos.
They're definitely mobile.
Yeah, maybe we keep Modison and Hell's Daughter with the Mystics. Multi-dimensional man. Hmm. I guess teleporting would lend itself to indiscriminate chaos. Um, Frost Giant and Serpent Boy. Frost Giant. How tall does Frost Giant grow? Like, was it 20, 30 feet?
I believe there's a chart that would have him at like 25 feet.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the growth chart. Um, I'm on the bubble whether Frost Giant would be best on defense or
I
indiscriminate
think
chaos.
I think keeping divine or very strong minds on the defense side would be good
Ah,
because one, Pharaoh Lady, very strong willpower.
yeah, yeah, that's a good call.
Second, we
Mhm.
don't know if she can teleport or not. She can probably, if we find her well of power, she probably has a way to get there quickly, which means we would need a response team for when she decides to be there.
Sure. All right. Well, um, so we'll have Frost Giant and Serpent Boy join the. I guess we'll have a Asgard unit on defense at the very least. Let's see, who are other people? I think that the defense team could really benefit from Doctor Brain being there. Um, I also have Geist. I could go either way on that one.
Yeah,
Then
he's
the
got
303s. Yeah, robots on defense. I I wasn't keeping
Robots on
track.
defense makes a lot of sense as far as she would have an inability to mentally control them.
Right. Am I forgetting? Have I forgotten anyone? I mean, of course.
Where do you want the platypus?
Where would Ray fit in best? Hmm. I mean, he could move. He's certainly mobile.
Yep, yep.
Platypus is tough.
Mm.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I think all three of the primaries called Chaos. Is that correct?
Say that again.
Oh,
Yeah, his connection may have stalled.
I noticed his camera was pausing every now and
Yeah,
then,
his
but
camera froze, and
his
then
voice was doing fine.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Just a hiccup. Goodness
Yeah,
knows we've had worse
so
than that on the show.
I'm just rating down our rosters just to make sure.
oh no,
So, Team Chaos will be the Majestics, Unison, Bruce, Recluse, and then Defense. Oh, MDM on Team Chaos. Defense would be the J303s, Asgard crew,
Jays,
Dr. Brain.
as Guardians, Dr. Brain. Where would you
I'm
like to
actually
put
on the
that?
bubble where Geist also on defense. Did we agree on Geist for defense?
His name came up. I don't think y'all made a decision.
Okay.
Mostly because
I
everybody's
guess
looking at
just
Ray to make the decision.
yeah, I feel like Geist. Why don't you stick on wait, Geist's abilities. Let's see. Oh yeah, motion. Oh yeah. Yeah. Let's keep Geist in team defense because Geist is going to be our muscle defense. And just to keep things simple and keep the principals on the same team, Ray will suggest himself on Team Chaos as well.
Okay.
I would like to put one slight alteration in that plan.
Sure.
I plan to stay fairly high above the city with our secret weapon in hand.
What was our secret weapon again?
I walk up and put a hand on the shoulder of Aurora.
Oh, check. Very good. So that's Unison
If
and
we
Aurora.
if we see a squad falling apart or getting hit too heavy, we'll point Aurora at it.
She's
So
like, yeah.
Unison Prime and Aurora, or is it just Aurora as the reserve?
I will have my main body, me, up high, being able to send copies as support as things get, as things are needed,
Ah,
and
course.
able to keep mass communication amongst the team. And then if something is going completely off the rails and we might have a loss on our hands in any one section, I will point the Aurora cannon at it.
Aurora likes this plan.
That's a
Dr.
great
Brain does
name.
not.
Well, at this point, Ray will be firm in overriding her concerns, given that this is global stakes sort of thing. This is the final, and again, she's only in for a reserve. So if we do our job right, we won't even need her.
I see. This is important, so child soldiers are fine.
Well,
And the doctor's not pouting, but she does not look happy.
I didn't figure her to be the pouting type. But
To
I
be
think that's
fair, Aurora looks happy.
Aurora's delighted. She's felt like she's been getting sidelined here lately. She's not pleased with that. You never decided where the platypus was going.
Oh yeah, the Australian cell. So who? Okay. Oh boy. Well, well, any team would be honored to have someone like the platypus. In a lot of ways, the platypus will be the linchpin of ours. Sorry, Bruce. I didn't say that.
Oh, he's so neat though. He can tunnel underground and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, Team
I can
Chaos
tunnel.
for the platypus.
I mean, the platypus we could have positioned underground for the moment we see the main enemy force, just have them pop up behind.
Start delivering his venomous kicks.
Plus, for entertainment value, I think having Bruce and Platypus on the same team makes sense, just for pure entertainment purposes.
Well, see, the shark is the top jaw, and the platypus is the bottom jaw, and we will snap it upon our enemies.
There, see, Bruce, you're the one on top. That's not bad.
Alright, so platypus goes in Team Chaos.
The good old-fashioned sharktopus, the greatest military
Oh, yeah.
maneuver known to man.
Not octopus. Oh no.
The greatest threat on land or sea.
Let's see. You've also got Foresight.
Oh yeah, Foresight. Foresight maybe team defense, because they may provide the split-second advance warning of imminent attack.
That's a good plan. Foresight squad will probably, oh not Foresight, Hindsight squad.
The Hindsight Squad.
Yeah, him and his folks would probably argue for being in Team Chaos. Just because there'll be a unit kind of doing their own thing. Okay, somebody coming through really loud and a little garbled. Who was that?
Sure.
Didn't quite see who, but I think it was an echo from you in theirs shooting through. So if someone's using speakers, they may need to keep it in mind.
But okay, that seems like that's got everybody varied out pretty good. Oh, and we lost him, Mike.
Sorry, I'm back.
Oh, okay. All right. So y'all, y'all spend some time hammering this out, and you're going over, MDM's getting in touch with people, letting them know what the plan is, and they're, everybody getting their times of when they'll be able to make it into Egypt.
I'm sorry, when I cut out, you were talking about the Hindsight cell.
They'll be on Team Chaos.
Okay.
They'll be functioning as their own unit,
Sure.
just causing havoc in the city, drawing forces away from the temple complex.
As supervillains, I'm sure they exceed at that sort of thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
At least you assume it's supervillains on his team. Like I said,
that's
he has kept who's on his cell pretty hush-hush. But they've been effective.
I'm sure very upstanding citizens.
Of course. Who else does Hindsight know? So y'all pretty much get that hammered out. MDM asks, "Are you going to are we going to try to contact that Steel fella?" Because he seemed to be on board with overthrowing the Pharaoh once y'all had talked to him.
We did tell him we would.
And he
yeah.
won't be the only villain we're working with, but
No, and I know as far as villains go, I feel like he's one of those like more victim of circumstance kind of villains than if anything else than anything like overtly malicious. I mean, he seemed surprisingly well balanced when we freed him.
I mean,
and we do
obviously we can only trust him so far, but I think we can trust him for this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wouldn't recruit him.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's tried to take over the world. Well, the U.S. at least once, but.
And we do have the means to contact him, right?
Oh yeah, but he's running that science city.
Okay. And again, he had like massive radiation powers, right?
No, not the guy y'all let loose. The guy in the powered armor that was building the satellites for.
All right, yeah. Oh,
that's Farron Steel. That's just the dude's actual name.
I'm sorry. Right.
Y'all lost contact with the radioactive guy.
That's what I thought.
He was like, "Oh yeah, I'll be happy to talk to you later." Y'all haven't heard from him since.
That's right. Well, that's fair. You know what? He's earned a break.
He's some other season's problem.
Yeah. Farron Steel, y'all are really good about leaving me those kind of dangling plot threads to play with too. I do appreciate it.
Was Steel just like a super inventor? What was his deal again?
Yeah, he had a suit of powered armor.
Okay.
He was a Tony Stark, Lex Luthor type.
Team defense? Or do we maybe not? Well, no, we have no reason not to. I don't know. What do we think for Steel? Maybe I'm starting to think chaos for Steel. I feel like our team's like I feel like we're weighting our portions towards chaos, and I wonder if that's.
I don't Farron Steel on defense.
I'm sorry.
I don't want a guy who has been mind controlled on defense.
Yes, I think that was yeah. Okay, chaos it is.
All right.
And
When
you know, we if the defense team can put out a call at any time, and we can all just like consolidate on a moment's notice if they need the backup.
Mhm. All right. So you're gonna have to call Still to fill him in on this, and that is a process. So you kind of drop a message, you wait for him to get back. He gets back to you on kind of a private something he set up. You know, he's bouncing around, so nobody else on his side, you know, on his around him that might still be loyal, you know, gets into contact. And when he answers, when the video comes up, it's him in the full armor. His face is not showing on camera. You know, and he's got like the green screen stuff going on, so you can't see anything about his background. I was wondering if I was ever going to hear from you.
Yes, it's time. And if it's not too rude for me to ask, no, I was gonna ask if he could drop his face visor, reveal himself, but you know, if we're thinking about a potential betrayal, I mean, this could easily just be like an illusion anyway. So I don't know if it's worth bringing up.
No, it's up to you. Bring it up or don't bring it up.
Yeah. Well, as we talk, can I just do an awareness check just to see if anything flags as being off putting or off, you know, not right?
Sure. Give me an awareness roll.
10.
Let me roll a difficulty. Okay. So you're a little leery of him when you first start talking, and he seems a little leery of you. The longer you talk, the more he relaxes, and he sounds like Steel sounded through his.
Okay, well, a little leeriness is, you know, to be expected.
You almost get the impression that maybe both of you are sitting there going, I need to be sure this is who I think it is.
Right.
You know, and as far as answering the, you know, putting in the call with the mask, well, that way, you know, if it was somebody else, they don't see him right away.
Yeah, I'll just receive. We'll just let him know where and when to meet us.
Okay.
And if you can bring in any reliable fighters, that would be awesome. Also, and I let him, you know about the team, the Chaos Defense general plan.
Okay. So,
but I won't tell him about Aurora because you know need to know.
So backup is not being mentioned to him. But you're letting him know, you know, the Mystics are going in. There's a defense team going in with them. The rest of us are going to be out causing chaos and ready to back the defense up if necessary.
Yeah, just be loud and distractible. Or distracting.
He asked a few questions, you know, here and that, you know, reasonable, you know, tactically speaking. It's like he's making sure he understands this, that, and the other.
Yeah, we should probably clarify the extent of acceptable collateral damage. As in property, but not lives.
Oh, he understands. Even when he attempted his takeover, there wasn't like, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of bloodshed. I won't say it was completely bloodless.
Killing isn't the point for this guy.
No. If that's the only way to accomplish the end, well, okay. Mm-hmm. But it's not the preferred method, you know.
You know, here I have a question for the Mystics. That just came up. That just came to mind. If you do undo the spell, what exactly does that undo? Is it a reset, or is it just like going forward where everything's back to where it was, but we, you know, everything that happened during, you know, the interregnum is still in continuity, as it were.
Wolf Witch kind of fidgets for a minute. Or a few seconds. And then the Crucible finally turns to you and goes, we don't know.
Okay.
We're confident we can unweave the spell when we get there. But until we can examine the spell, we don't know if we'll be able to change back the physical alterations that happened.
Okay.
Our priority is the mental changes. If Egypt
Gotcha.
happens to have an extra city when it's all said and done, so be it.
Okay.
Certainly, we don't want to make like the buildings in Memphis that people are living in disappear, and those people are just, falling.
Right.
That would be something to be avoided. With any luck, we'll be able. To just reverse everything. What she did not actually alter time. We don't believe. So we don't think reversing the spell will do anything to alter time.
Okay, so that's right. Everyone just thinks she's been in rule forever.
Correct. That's why you still have the satellites in orbit. That's why you had that
Right.
abandoned Spear base that y'all refueled at. It was still there. People just forgot it was there.
That's right. Okay,
And then when the locals stumbled across it, they started looting it.
that's right.
We don't know what this is. It doesn't seem to belong to anybody. We'll just take this neat stuff.
Exactly. Okay.
But yeah, they don't know a lot of the specifics about that until they get a chance to examine what was done.
All right. Well, I'll look forward to finding out.
So y'all talk to Steele. You get off there. You've talked to the Mystic. You talk to the Mystics again, and the Mystics are kind of making their own plans. Figuring out exactly how good each of them is at detecting magic and this, that, and the other. Trying to figure out ways that they can work to amplify each other. At that point, a proximity alarm starts going off through y'all's base.
Oh boy. All right. Well, do we have?
So much for our
check
planning.
Yeah, let's check our security cameras.
On your cameras, you see 6 people landing outside the entrance to your base.
Okay.
They are not landing in a vehicle.
The flyer.
Yes, all 6 of them are flying under their own power.
Do we recognize them at all?
It's the hindsight crew, perhaps. Hopefully.
Well, Hindsight had a vehicle. It wasn't a plane. He referenced it being a vertical takeoff and landing thing. And they wouldn't be coming to the out anyway. All these different cells are going to be meeting up in Egypt.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, in that case, yeah, let's just.
Give me. Curtis asked if he recognized them.
Right.
Let me find what I'm looking for here. There we go. For some reason, I seem to have kept flipping past it. All right. So it's 4 men and 2 women. You can see it's Recluse, Ray, Unison. Yeah, all y'all were involved in the season 2 finale. So yeah, give me awareness rolls to see if you recognize any of these people. They're all dressed like Egyptian guard. They look like they could be Egyptian guards in an Egyptian movie kind of thing.
Oh boy.
Recluse got a 7.
I got an 11.
All right, so
I got an 8.
Ray got, and the difficulty y'all are rolling against was an 8. So Ray got a marginal success. These people look familiar. They all bear a kind of familiar resemblance to each other.
No way.
They're all black.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought this was going to be the primes.
No. I mean, I'd save those for the conclusion, wouldn't I? If I was going to use them.
So there's 6 of them, not 4.
So recluse, yeah, okay, it's flying people. Land shark, okay, yeah, it's flying people. A couple, they're all pretty muscular. So in Bruce's head, he's probably thinking, they're probably super strong, or at least some of them. Unison. I think you were more or less leading the spear team during the conclusion.
That is true.
So you were a big part of, the season 2 conclusion. Almost every super on the planet was involved. So you dealt with a lot of different people. Does Taylor, the player, have any idea who these people might be?
I'm worried it's the ensigns.
You're
I'm
quite
trying to remember
certain
how many-
that these are all part of the ensign family.
Okay.
You don't
This
know
is
that
the Australian.
you don't think it's actually the blue, red, or white ensign. But a lot of their non-costumed family were also involved in that. People running around in just regular clothes with big domino masks.
And they were all fairly heavy hitters, weren't they?
It varies a lot. There was plenty of the family that was technically superpowered, but not big enough to get involved. But they had.
Am I remembering?
Oh, go ahead.
Am I remembering correctly that the ensigns were Australian heroes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the original Blue Ensign, World War II hero, Australian Aboriginal, and his power, he passes. Most of his family, the power is passed down into him, but in very varying degrees. Some of them are pretty much as stout as he ever was. Some of them are just barely superpowered. One of his sons and 2 of his grandsons are currently running around as costume heroes. And of course, his great-granddaughter was great-great-granddaughter, was one of the students in the... one of the students Ray would have been taught. Ray and Landshark would have been teaching.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yep. So this is definitely members of that family. So, typical high-end flying bricks.
Recluse is going to very.
What was that, Curtis?
Based on the way they're dressed, I'm assuming that means they're under control of the Pharaoh.
It would seem so.
That'll be my guess.
And Zach, what were you saying Recluse was going to do?
Recluse is going to very quietly ask MDM if this place has a silent self-destruct they could set off, and Aurora could just port everyone to the base of the mountain. Because this is not going to be a good fight.
I roll up my sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
It's time, baby. It's time.
MDM looks over at Foresight, who, kind of nods. Yeah, there's a self-destruct. Dr. Brain's response is, who puts a self-destruct in a superhero base?
Every superhero team.
I mean, I would.
Yeah?
That gets a sharp look from her. Foresight, in his defense, goes, well, this was a villain base that we took over. I had a feeling we needed to keep the self-destruct, but I didn't know why.
Yeah, because it's super useful.
As y'all are talking, y'all start hearing metal screech as those 6 people are like peeling the big metal door back.
I will keep 7 duplicates here to stall them while y'all get out and I get out. And the duplicates I have on the space station explain to our team that what's going on, and then they will poof so that I can do a full duplicate drop in this base.
All right. So Foresight goes over. He starts activating the self-destruct. He tells you when he activates it, there will be a robotic voice that gives a countdown. He doesn't actually want to kill any of the Ensign's family. I mean, he's not 100% certain it would. He knows kind of, he knows the actual Ensigns would probably survive this thing exploding. But since the family varies in strength, the last thing he
Make
wants
the next potluck awkward.
Oh, that is
the
a
last
fair
thing he'd want
point.
would be that entire family coming after him because he killed one of their weaker members.
Yeah, we really don't.
Hmm.
Once again, sorry, still in kind of like the warfare mindset. We really do not need to kill people.
He goes,
Yeah.
that's why I'm putting in the verbal countdown. They're all pretty fast. Should all be pretty fast. So,
All right, well, let's get escaping, and I will crack out the 7 duplicates to slow them down.
all right. So as soon as the door is open enough that there's room for somebody to get through, one or two of them, zip through, while the others keep pulling the door a little wider open.
The first one to zip through is going to get 7 mental blasts.
All right.
Do we need to start putting some icons down or some timers or something?
Well, since you're really just stalling, give me a. Ooh, this first one is not great on the willpower anyway. But yeah, we don't really want to sit here and. I tell you what, give me one roll with all your duplicates like helping in the roll. We'll keep it simple.
All right, so that would be a modifier of... So main shooter and then 6 assistants would give how many modifiers?
All right, so one person helping you gives you one set of modifiers. Then you need another 2.
Yep.
And then you
And
need
then
another
3?
4.
Oh, 4. All right, so I only got a 2 modifier then.
All right. So it's a 2 modifier to damage or a 4 modifier to, to actually hit. So to decide where you're going to use the assistance.
I guess I'll just do it to damage.
Okay. And I think I roll willpower and you roll whatever you roll.
Luckily for mental blast, it's willpower.
All right, so that beat it by 3.
So just 4 damage and then a possible slam.
All right, and for slam, it'd be willpower for this.
Total of 6.
All right, they got a 7, so not.
So they just took the 4 damage.
Yeah. It responds by trying to hit one of you. Minimum roll.
Also minimum roll, but defeats it.
All right. So y'all hear the fight starting. As you hear somebody kind of from the mental assault, and while their retaliatory swing against Unison misses, it does plow into the wall, so the rest of you hear the noise of fighting. Aurora's like, "You think he needs help?"
Nope. We should be going, Aurora.
No, I'm fine. Because the real me is running with you.
I don't like running from a fight. But we're going to a bigger fight, so
We're running to a fight.
So she turns, turns to an open section. And space, the reality starts unfolding. And you told her base of the mountain, right?
Yes, the base of the mountain.
All right, so yeah, she opens that up. It gets, as soon as it's open, John and Molly go through. like John's hammer out. You know, it's they're going through making sure the other side is clear, and you know they step out, give a quick look around, and then motion for everybody else.
Recluse will step through.
All right, MDM and Dr. Brain go through. Basically, all the NPCs start funneling through at this point.
I'll go ahead and I can fly, so I'll just take up the last spot.
Okay. Aurora's letting everybody out before she shuts it. You start hearing the voice. Base will self-destruct in, T minus 10 seconds. Well, 15.
Now we are getting the plane out, right?
Are you? Nobody said anything about the plane up to this point.
Yeah, we might need that real quickly. Could Aurora pop a portal open to the hangar? So,
I mean, I can fly at fast helicopter speed. I'm sure the hangar's not that far away.
Yeah, Wolfers.
Okay, so Unison Prime is running up to the.
Wait, how fast did it say that self-destruct was?
Like 15 seconds.
That's fast.
How fast can the plane get out of here?
Probably longer than that.
Sassafras.
Yeah, the Rook may be upset. But that's a problem for future seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Tracted court battle season. Woo!
All right. Man, that sucks.
That was a miscalculation.
And why is it self-destruct 15 seconds? That's crazy.
Because y'all talked about running through a portal. And, he didn't hit it until right before he ran through the gateway. The ensigns are all pretty fast. They should be able to clear out in that time.
I'll go through the portal, and now I'm mad.
Just as she's coming through, Aurora's like, oh! And she turns around and shoots back into the base. A second later, she comes out with a big handful of the DVDs from the entertainment center.
Priority.
Big armful of them. Some of them are falling out as she flies back out. And then she lets the door start shutting behind her, or the gateway start shutting behind her. John just starts laughing at her. John said I could take these home with me.
So what is our backup plan on the plane that we left in the building?
Geist just sort of points.
Recluse is gonna go ahead.
Geist just points over at Aurora.
Yeah. Recluse is
Alright.
gonna awkwardly muss her hair.
I'm going to be very frustrated about this when the 7 of my copies are able to hold them off. Oh well.
Well, it's 7 copies versus 6 of them, so.
It's done now.
Yep, what's done is done.
So you're not sure those copies could have held them off indefinitely. However, once the count hits about 5, they all start zipping out.
Joke's on you, the copies chase. Mostly because I don't want to feel explosive death again. It kind of sucks.
As the last of your copies is passing through the hole in the door the instance had made, the count hits 0. And then about 5 seconds later, there's an explosion. So still not enough time that you could have run up and gotten the plane. But a little bit more time than he made the countdown sound like they had. And at the base of the mountain, y'all can hear the explosion at the top. You see a bunch of snow coming down. Y'all are far enough down the mountain that it's the little avalanche the explosion caused isn't going to reach you. But
Hopefully, we weren't near any ski resorts.
I think not.
Well, it was kind of a hard to ascend mountain where this base was. Yeah, the supervillains don't usually put their bases in the spots that are good for ski resorts. Those tend to be a little too easy to get to. All right, so now y'all are staying at the base of the mountain. You've got only the clothes on your back and Aurora's DVDs.
I'm gonna say,
Lots of My Little Pony.
obviously I think they were on to us. Probably we asked too many people to join our assault, and someone leaked the information to Madame Feyre, so I think we better strike now.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, like there's been an OPSEC breach here. Do we have any fallback locations we could portal to?
I don't know. Do you guys know of any safe houses or fallback positions you can go to?
There's that abandoned
what?
spear base.
All right, one at a time. What was that, Mike?
Oh, the abandoned spear base.
Okay. Does Recluse have any ideas?
Recluse was gonna suggest his apartment back in Manford.
Wait, am I still paying for that?
Well, it's his apartment, man. It's where he lives.
Yeah, but in season 1, I set that apartment up for him and was paying for it.
Now, had you bought it or were you just renting it?
I was renting.
Because you can do okay, so
I was paying your rent because you couldn't have a job.
Oh,
at the
I
time.
assume with Recluse, actually having an income stream with Spear plus some book deals.
I hope he started paying the rent
Yeah.
instead of me at some point.
Let's see. MDM says you could fall back to the mansion. Your child,
yes.
Unison's childhood home.
Always.
He also knows where the Rook's base is, and the Rook's not using it currently. I mean, she's living in the house above it, but he's pretty sure she's not aware it's there right now.
Yeah. Let's do the Rook's base, the Rook's nest.
Hold on, time out. I don't want to make that big an enemy of the Rook. She's already gonna be mad.
Yeah, didn't we just blow up the Rook ship?
And I had enough competition with that family in my childhood. I don't want that to keep going on.
Which mansion were we talking about?
The multiple dimensional man in Dr. Brain's house. They're well off.
Yeah, do y'all still have enough money to rebuild it if it gets completely destroyed in this?
Maybe not as big as it currently is, but most of you kids are out of the house now, so it doesn't have to be as big. Your mother just goes, "Yeah, we'll be fine." And best you can recall, she kept up with the finances more than your dad did.
I think the sooner we move, the better. The sooner we strike, the better.
I just realized we forgot to put Omniglot on the team.
Omniglot stayed mysteriously silent.
She was in the bathroom when y'all blew the base up. Oops.
God. This dark little twist.
You know, it's that whole Home Alone opening. Everybody's scrambling to get to the plane. Y'all were scrambling to get out of the base. Miscounted. You know, you counted Aurora when she stepped out the first time. Then she zipped back in. When she came out, you counted again, and the numbers came out right. So. But, all right, but right now, you know, so you're outside of having this debate. Eunice, in your copies, you see the ensigns scatter once they're outside. But they seem to be falling into patrol pattern. It's like they start spiraling around them. They're searching the mountain, kind of going down.
All right, well,
So
we're
the
on a time
explosion
limit.
did not take them out.
You know, kind of like, obviously they're certain that y'all had a way to get out. They may not know how you got out of the base, but they're certain if you blew your base up, then you were getting out of it some kind of way.
Yeah, wild tactical decision to blow our base up if we were just going to escape. Because I don't think we had any information on our attack plan, seeing as we were making it up in the moment.
No, we had contact. It would have been bad for them to get the computers, but not.
Yeah, it would
disastrous.
have been bad if we failed, but who plans for failure? Anyway, let's go to a place.
While y'all are
the
talking,
answer to the-
Aurora has run over to a small group of trees, set her DVDs down, and is like piling up snow around them, like she's concealing them. Yeah, I'll come back for these later.
I can just carry them for you.
Oh, Rico's gonna put a hand on his shoulder. Nope, nope. This is adorable. Let her do it.
Okay.
You don't think they'll find them, do you? She's like looking further up the mountain, like she's expecting to spot the ensigns at any moment.
I don't think they, not sure they have the memory of what DVDs are,
Oh, good.
with how weird this stuff has been.
Okay, so where do we need to go?
Yeah, let's MDM and Dr. Brain's mansion,
Where's that?
just so we can recuperate and then launch the assault.
It is X amount of miles that direction.
I was just checking something. Your mother steps forward and goes, "Here." And he like puts a finger on Aurora's forehead. And then suddenly, oh, huh, I feel like I've been there before.
Ah,
And then space starts unfolding opening up into a very large dining room. And all of you walk in. Aurora immediately starts running to the house. And you hear, "I think this is the bathroom, right?" "Yeah." So Unison, you're not sure how much information your mother dumped in her brain about, this house. But
It's a house.
Aurora seems to be quite pleased at running around somewhere she's never been, but with memories of what it is. But it's like she's running around double checking everything.
There not a whole lot of mentalists on your home?
Oh, you called that out to Aurora?
Yeah.
She's like, there's some, but, they don't mess with me. It's an ability we can learn, but it's one of the harder ones.
Noted.
I know where your room is. And she turns around and takes off.
Yeah, but I haven't. Have you done anything to my room?
Your mother's got, yeah, we dust it every now and then.
Oh, I mean, thank you for that, but
We haven't used it for anything.
oh man, my first edition book of Muskel's Manual for Manhandling Heroes is in there.
She's like, oh yeah, we've left your books on the bookcase. Oh, well, the ones you didn't take with you anyway. Actually, is Muscle any older than Unison?
Muskel's, I think, a little older.
Okay.
He just looks young.
He's holding together.
Or it's genetics and illegal eugenic surgeries and a lot of procedures. He was a super soldier serum as a baby kind of guy.
Yeah. Well, you know, that Dr. Ravenous chick, she does good work as far as keeping you patched up.
Yeah. But yes, it's a similar age range. Silently looking and being like, I do want to be better than him, but I'm impressed by his work.
All right, so y'all settle in here for the night. You know, you'd already called around to most of the other cells of the rebellion, so you know a lot of them are already in the air headed towards Egypt. You know, because y'all had figured out when everybody could meet up, where to meet up, and you know, not everybody was meeting up in one pile. You know, you had 4 or 5 staging areas around, and then everybody would move into Memphis at the same time. You know, basically with Land Sharks, Dust Cloud going to be the kind of the opening move.
Cover. Yeah.
MDM and Foresight managed to get in touch with everybody. You know, they managed to get the word out as to what happened at y'all's base. But then all of y'all made it out. You know, everybody needs to be, you know, braced because Memphis may know something's coming.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, probably not the entire plan since y'all were kind of making that up on the fly. Get a message back from Hindsight. He has picked up Jay and a couple of other people, and a couple of other people Jay knows. Which, you know, as S.P.E.A.R, you'd recognize the people, you know. S.P.E.A.R keeps tabs on Starbound, you know, as a resident alien. Where Stormbringer has not been a super active heroine, but she's popped up a few times, so you know, there's at least a name and a, you know, brief power description of her. And of course, you guys should be able to get to Memphis without too much, you know, trouble.
Yeah.
Did you fill your guys on the guys on the ship? Did you fill them in on what was going on before the escape?
Do they need to know at this point?
On the spaceship?
Yes.
Yeah, the copies I had left there filled them in. What was happening?
That's right. I forgot you had some copies you had left up there. Yeah. How many more days have they been awake then?
We've only been on it's only been like a week and a half. I'm doing great.
Mm-mm.
So anyway, you get to spend a night in Unison in Omniglot's childhood homes. Well, technically, Omniglot still lives here.
And during a moment, I would like to have a brief aside with MDM.
Okay, yeah, you can get you. We talk in the office. You walk into his office.
So, is this Geist guy like a secret cousin that I didn't know about?
Oh,
'Cause
the
power set is
similarity, the similarity in your
Yeah,
powers.
it's crazy similar.
I'm sure he's related to us far enough back at some point. But no, he just happens. His abilities just happen to develop similarly to yours.
All right.
I
I
mean,
was just real worried
that
there for a
particular
minute.
ability.
So Aurora did take off to Unison's childhood bedroom, right?
Yes.
Landshark's going to go with her. And I'm going to look around in the bedroom for anything like an old yearbook or something that's got his first name on it.
Give me an awareness roll.
I like your attempt at this because you make it sound like someone's going to keep one, a picture of themselves in their room, and two, like circle their own name in their yearbook. You don't know what my face looks like.
Oh, but people would have, friends and stuff would have signed it.
Oh, yes, friends.
Actually, did Unison go to regular school or was he homeschooled?
He went to. Oh, he did have a lot of private tutors because he could have multiple at the same time. Because all his education was very condensed because of the fact that he could do 6 hours of study in 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Bruce is digging. Bruce is digging through his bookshelves looking for yearbooks and not having a lot of luck.
I can tell you one thing you do find if you'd like to.
All right, what do you tell him?
In a closet, is because I assume you're going to go through the closets, right?
I'm not tearing things up to look around, but I am poking around.
You find an old, like, yellow and green costume that looks like it has a slingshot on the front.
Oh, I forgot you were a sidekick. That's right.
Bad color scheme.
I forget what was Unison's kid sidekick name.
Slingshot.
Was it
Because
Slingshot?
all he would do was from far away do the telekinetic blasts to provide assistance.
Gotcha. Yes, right. Because your dad didn't let you get into the rough and tumble until you're up some age.
Yeah.
Probably your
Slingshot's
mother's
mentor?
influence.
Who was Slingshot's mentor?
MDM.
MDM.
Yeah.
Oh,
The multiple dimension man over the years had several different sidekicks. And yeah, one of his later ones was this kid named Slingshot.
And his last one, Talk It Out.
Talk it out.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So Landshark, you find like a teenager's clearly superhero outfit. Chances that Landshark would know who Slingshot is, a little low.
Probably not.
But you can
never
tell
know.
the shorts are 1960s basketball team short.
Oh my!
Because his dad thought that was a traditional superhero outfit.
You see there are behind it a later pair of pants of the same color scheme that are much less creepy.
When Slingshot got rebooted in the 90s, he got pants.
I just kind of look at it and go, wow.
Are you going to show the rest of the team?
Just take pictures.
He's choked up at the thought.
Be like, Uni, explain this.
As I come out of my office and you're just carrying my underwear on a
Short
bag.
shorts.
Yeah, that's a costume I was forced to wear as a child. You okay there, bud?
His
know
dad
you're
behind him,
supposed to
it
get-
was a classic.
At least there aren't pixie.
I need to remind you, you're trying to get married to someone. You may not want to walk around with another man's childhood underwear in your hands.
And you work at a school.
Point.
When Omniglot sees it, she just starts laughing.
Oh, Unison, I'm not sure why you changed up the outfit. This is so distinctive.
I mean, it's got to give you plenty of mobility. You know, nothing's holding your limbs back.
Aurora's just standing there like, you know, her people wear some weird stuff, so it's not, you know, she's just sitting there like, wouldn't your legs get cold?
And you all said my vest made me look like a village person.
I got pants later. And yes, after a couple of years in this, another person provided some more input on the costumes, so the next sidekick was more modern.
Omniglot just is sitting there nodding.
Can we put my childhood costume away, please?
Aurora volunteers too.
Thank you, Aurora.
She takes the lance shark, flies back upstairs. You hear a door open and quickly shut, and you realize she probably just opened the door and tossed it into your room and then shut the door.
That's fine. Oh,
As
right.
long as it's out of sight.
Wait. Do we still have a... I haven't been here in years, in, like, any extended context. Do we still have, like, a butler? Or did he finally retire?
Oh, Wentworth? Oh, yes, he still worked for us before this stuff happened. When all this went down, we, he still remembered that he worked for us, but since we, kind of went into hiding, you know, we gave him an extended period off. He thinks we're taking a world tour or something. But yes, he's fine. He's fine. He doesn't.
That gives
remember
him plenty of
us
time
at
for
all.
his stage acting. I'm sure he loves it.
You know, I think the local community theater is still active, even
Just
with all the change.
very Egypt-centric plays all of a sudden.
Yes, yes.
By the way, how are my clones doing with the ensigns? Or do they just immediately are just faster than me?
They're faster than you.
Nah,
This particular
unfortunately.
squad are all kind of high-speed flyers, is why they're dispatched like they were. And you know, once they start scouting the mountain, you know, that's going to take them a while. So, but y'all have a night to relax. Since y'all will be teleporting in, you know, you've got a little bit of time while everybody else is mostly flying there. MDM fires up the TV. Is watching the news. There are lots of sightings all over the world. There are being sightings of lights in the sky.
Can't be good.
Some of those lights dip down to street level. But not as many people are carrying around cell phones, so there's not as much footage of it as you would expect. But what you do see, you recognize the Spjords.
Ha!
I mean, it is good.
Probably the ones that were following the ship. It's definitely more than just one of them. different colors, different sizes, or the size can be a little hard to tell from one video to the next because of the distance. But they haven't done any harm. Other than there's video of one flying through a red light, and the red light seems to kind of short out a bit when they do it. But
FYI, I'm still wearing those rings around my neck. The Grimory is on the spaceship hidden, but I was keeping the rings with me to give to Jay whenever. So in hopes we could.
oh, I'm sure his grandmother would love them.
Well, yeah, she's
Oh,
not
they're so
dead.
pretty. Ooh.
Yeah. Don't put it on.
So where did the Spheroids appear?
They've been popping up all over the world.
And
It's been
how
going
long
on.
has
It's
this
been going
been
on for
happening?
days now.
Okay.
And this started what? Just today?
No, a few
There
days.
had been
going
an
on for
earlier report that I think y'all had heard of one,
Hmm.
and it had popped up somewhere where y'all had a big fight, but like well afterwards.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know that we can worry about that quite now.
But but there just seemed to be one there where the reports over the last couple of days there seems to be multiples, and the smaller ones tend to be just randomly all over the place.
Yeah, that might have to
Mhm.
be tomorrow. It might have to be tomorrow's problem.
It will quite likely be tomorrow's problem. But so yeah, good night's rest. There's enough spare rooms. Everybody gets a bed. Maybe a half a bed, or a couple of you maybe on bunk beds. Dr. Brain doesn't know what to do for a recluse.
He's just gonna make a little nest of blankets in the living room.
Well, they certainly gather. They can certainly gather you up enough blankets, and she's got plenty of pillows. Several of the spare beds were covered in pillows prior to getting them ready for somebody to actually sleep in it.
Yeah.
Dr. Brain is clearly a pillow person. But you're up the next morning without any issue. MDM is sitting there drinking coffee. John is drinking something. He's up early too, but he's drinking something probably stronger than coffee. Or maybe it's coffee and he Irished it up a lot. Who knows? MDM lets you know they've started getting reports in of people that have landed. Wherever their staging area was going to be, they've arrived. And they're like making their way the rest of the way to Memphis, on foot, underground, whatever, however they can do it. But everybody should be in position at the arranged time.
We watching
Very
the
nice.
clock.
Yep.
So yeah, everybody's doing their own thing to get ready. Geist and Foresight and MDM are doing a lot of they're doing a lot of like stretches and kind of martial arts warm up. Of course, Foresight and MDM are they're older and been in semi-retirement, so they're very particular about making sure they're good, stretching good for this. John and Molly are having ale. Dr. Brain is kind of mothering everybody and talking to Aurora about, staying out of the way, reminding her what her job is. Only if there's trouble. Otherwise she really needs her to look after Junior. And every time she calls Unison Junior, it makes Aurora kind of giggle. That was well timed.
It's crazy I'm being called Junior. I'm not even the youngest anymore.
But let's see, what is Omniglot doing? Omniglot's just doing a lot of moving around and kind of fidgeting. It's like she's just trying to come up with stuff to do to burn off nervous energy. Like when Recluse is up, she was immediately over there, like folding up all the blankets.
Recluse helps her, not to be a jackass.
Yeah, that's right. She just.
Is it time yet? Is it time yet?
Is that how Bruce passes the time? Is it time to go yet? No. Okay. Minute and a half later. Is it time to go yet? Who else? That was pretty much all y'all had on hand. Aurora seems very excited. She's been in fights. This is one of the first actual big organized battles she'll get to be in. She can't wait to go home and tell her folks about it.
Yeah, speaking of, do you mind if is there a chance I could tag along and kind of explain the situation to them when you go back?
Folks may want to have a conversation with us when this is over.
Yeah. That's what I'm fearing.
You say that, but they let their daughter wander around the galaxy as she pleases, so...
Yeah, it's kind of like, I'm a little afraid, but also, they are letting her do, secret rebellion moves on the dude that thinks he's a god.
Well,
and has, a doom planet minus one cool island.
Well, they have a very boomer mentality on how to raise children. Just ask Gen X how that went.
Yep.
Well, actually, take that back. The boomers would have mostly been raising the millennials. So maybe it's more of a silent generation way of raising children. Take care of yourselves. Come get me if you're bleeding. But yes, Bruce, finally the time comes. Dr. Brain takes a memory from the multiple dimensional man and gives it to Aurora. Of some time that he was in Egypt. She unfolds space. Y'all get there via flight powers or whatever. Y'all spend part of the day moving into position. Because of course you're jumping far. It's morning where you're at. When you get up, so it would be probably. I'm trying to think of the time zones, but so let's see. Y'all probably had to wait around most of the day. It was probably early evening when y'all left, so or into the night. Anyway, you time it where you get there close to dawn. After all, when you go in with a giant sand cloud, you want to make sure people can see it.
Right. And we want everyone to be able to see the shark face.
Yes.
Mm.
So you arrive in Egypt sometime during the night in Egypt, nighttime in Egypt, and then around dawn, you've managed to maneuver to where you're, based on where you're planning to enter the side that you're planning to go in. So the time comes, everybody's little calm things, chime in. Everybody lets MDM and Ray know that they're ready. Before you is the city of Memphis, a weird mix of a lot of old, ancient-looking buildings, but there's also a lot of modern stuff in the process of being built. It's like the city's gotten a whole lot of construction started in the past few months.
I'm assuming it's very pretty.
It is. It is actually a very nice-looking city. Like I said, they've got all kinds of canal work running water through the city. So the city is fairly green. But you can kind of tell right where the city limit stops. Where they stop putting any effort into that. If you've ever looked at photos along the Nile, you can kind of tell where, the water reaches right here and then it just cuts off sharp. It's kind of like that around the city. So as the city starts kind of waking up and coming to life and, people start moving around, Curtis, describe to me what they see when Landshark kicks this off.
Well, it looks like it's just a sand cloud, but it looks like a terrible sandstorm. Obviously, very mummy-esque. But instead of the mummy's face, you've got a giant growling, roaring shark face.
Could you make it roar?
You
can make it look like it was roaring.
Yeah, I can make it look like it roared.
And while there's no wind blowing, you can make the sand look like the wind's blowing. And just all that sand shifting at each other is going to make some noise.
I'll make it look like that cloud's assaulting the city. I mean, obviously it
coming in from the distance.
Assault it.
Especially at the edge of the city, you can see people going into a panic. As for the rest of you,
level-headed.
Let's see. Like you all knew Landshark could make earthquakes.
And he likes to shape stone as sharks.
Yeah, none of that's unusual.
Those space dwarves.
And remind me, Curtis, what level is Landshark's Earth Control at?
Earth Control is level, level 8.
So there's a huge distance he can cover. So this cloud is gigantic. This cloud is capable of... he could cover the city in this cloud. It's not like, this cloud of dust is going to, hit part of the city. No. It's just sweeping the entire city from this one side.
I'm thinking of that scene in recent Mission Impossible movie. I think Ghost Protocol, the one with Henry Cavill. Was that the one with the giant sandstorm that blows through the city?
I have not seen that one, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. It's an impressive scene. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, so it's just this colossal, the cloud it would tower over any of the buildings in the city. It's as wide as the city. It's probably not as deep, He's keeping it looking impressive, but there's a limit to how much he can move. But it is you all realize this is a huge amount of earth he's moving. This is the most impressive use of his power you've ever seen him do.
And of course, his eyes turn black shark eyes.
Naturally. Even Aurora's kind of like, whoa. And then I assume her and Unison move to assume their position.
Yep. And I'll have my copies dispersed throughout as need be.
So if this was a comic book, the last page would be a shot of people panicking in the city as this huge cloud with this snapping shark head made out of sand comes barreling down on the city. And that is where we will wrap for this session.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 weeks, let me double check that, make sure there's nothing. Okay, 2 weeks. All right. Valentine's Day does not land on Sunday. I was double checking that. So on the 16th, in 2 weeks, should be the final episode. It might go long and stretch into 2 episodes. I don't know. But we are definitely reaching the end game of the season. As we will
make
start.
sure to let
call
my
it a Valentine's Day episode, even though it's not technically Valentine's.
It's close, but it's close enough.
Yeah.
Well, if we win the day and are reunited with our loved ones, that'll be a good way to celebrate.
That's true. That's true. Because you know Santa Luna is in this city somewhere. Though Ray is probably fairly certain, certainly hopes that Marcus is not in the city.
Yeah, he's strictly civilian.
But that is where we will start up next week. I hope y'all had fun today. I know it was more RP and logistics than it was or tactics than it was Biff Bam Pow. But there will be plenty of Biff Bam Pow next time.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to make my big hello to Memphis.
Yes, you did.
That's right. The sand shark.
You don't remember Tennessee looking this dry, but whatever.
Right.
Hope everybody at home that watches or listens to us enjoys it. I hope you join us again in 2 weeks. Again, I was your GM for the day, Jason, and with me has been Zach playing Recluse.
I hope you all had as much fun as we did.
Mike playing Independence Ray.
Take care, everyone.
Taylor playing Unison.
See ya.
And Curtis playing Land Shark.
Later.
And we will see y'all next time.